That morning began like any other. The hum of the kettle, the faint drizzle painting my window in Bristol, and the steady rhythm of my own quiet life. But then ping, a sound so small, so ordinary, and yet it split my world open. My mother's name flashed across my phone. For a heartbeat I smiled, foolishly hoping it was about the Thanksgiving I'd been planning for months in secret. I imagined her excitement, her pride, her saying, "We can't wait to see what you've done, Amelia." But the message was short, cold, final. "Keeping it small this year, love. Just your sister's family. Hope you understand." That was it. A lifetime of being overlooked, boiled down to one polite sentence. My hand trembled slightly. I reread it once, twice, until the words blurred. I felt that old familiar ache bloom behind my ribs, the one I thought I'd outgrown. But this time, I didn't cry. I didn't even reply. I just whispered to myself, "All right then. If they don't want me at their table, I'll build my own." ////. I'm Amelia Grant, 33. A software founder living between Bath and Bristol. You might think success makes you immune to being forgotten, but let me tell you, invisibility doesn't vanish when you make it. It just wears quieter shoes. I grew up in Canterbury, in a narrow brick house that always smelled of polish and pride. My sister Clara was the golden child. Her cheerleading ribbons, piano trophies, debate medals hung like ornaments across our walls. There wasn't space for my drawings or little inventions. They ended up in drawers tucked beneath old bills. Mum used to say, "Clara's our little light." And Dad would nod every time. No one meant to erase me. They just forgot to notice I was there. I was quiet, bookish, the sort of child who'd rather take apart the toaster than go to a birthday party. At school, while Clara floated effortlessly through crowds, I hid in the library, teaching myself how to code. My maths teacher, Mr. Reynolds, saw something in me once, handed me a second-hand programming manual and whispered, "You're going to change the world someday, Amelia." No one else ever said that to me. When I got into Cambridge with a scholarship, I thought it might change things. Mum smiled, but she said, "Oh love, that's so far. Clara's staying in Kent. Much easier on everyone." Dad added something about train fares. They didn't mean to hurt me, but they did, in that soft, dismissive way people do when they think you'll be fine without them. At Cambridge, I lived on tea, instant noodles, and caffeine-induced hope. My dorm was cluttered with circuit boards and cold pizza boxes. I'd fall asleep to the glow of my laptop, dreaming of building something that mattered. But every Christmas I came home, I'd find that nothing had changed. Clara's photos had new frames. Mine didn't exist. The night she got engaged, my parents threw a garden party. Lights strung across the trees, champagne flowing like water. That same week, I'd presented my first prototype app at a student tech showcase. When I told Mum, she smiled distractedly. "Oh, that's nice, love. Did you see Clara's ring?" That was the night I stopped talking about my work. After Cambridge, I moved to Bristol, to a tiny flat with a leaky roof and dreams too big for its walls. I worked long hours at a tech firm where no one knew my name. The pay was miserable, but I learned fast, faster than anyone expected. Within a few years, I started my own venture, Luminate. It failed spectacularly. I lost everything: furniture, savings, hope. I remember sitting on the cold floor one night, laptop on my knees, staring at the rejection email from yet another investor. I wanted to call home to hear, "We're proud of you anyway." Instead, I got Dad's voice saying, "Well, Clara never had these troubles. Maybe find something steadier. Something inside me hardened. I promised myself that night I would build something no one could ignore. Years passed. I rebuilt. I worked 16-hour days, coding until dawn, surviving on tea and adrenaline. Luminate wasn't dead. It just needed resurrection. I rewrote everything, pitched again, failed again, until finally one investor believed in me. And then it happened. The clients came. The articles. The awards. The offers. 32, I sold my company. It was enough to rewrite the rest of my life. I bought a riverside flat in Bath. And then, almost impulsively, a sprawling Georgian estate in Whitby. Red brick, oak beams, an overgrown orchard, and silence so deep it healed something in me. And there, one autumn evening, I had an idea. I'd host a Thanksgiving British style. A family reunion they'd never forget. I pictured the long table, the candles, the smell of roasted chestnuts, Mum's tears when she saw what I'd built, Dad's proud silence, Clara's eyes softening, finally seeing me as more than a shadow. That dream, foolish as it was, kept me warm for weeks. Then came that text. Keeping it small this year, love. Just your sister's family. Felt like being erased twice. But this time, I wouldn't vanish quietly. I called my assistant, Rachel. They've uninvited me, I said. What? Thanksgiving. Apparently, I'm expendable. She stared. You're still going, right? No, I said slowly, the idea forming even as I spoke. I'm hosting my own. That night I called my cousin Simon, my Aunt Lydia, Uncle George. Each said the same thing, they'd been excluded too. Mum told us it's just immediate family this year, Lydia said, her voice tight. Not anymore, I replied. You're all invited to Whitby. By midnight I'd rallied half the family, plus a few friends from Bath and Bristol. People who'd been overlooked, forgotten, or simply had nowhere to go. / The weeks leading up to Thanksgiving were a blur of planning and purpose. The estate came alive. Fairy lights strung across the garden. Autumn leaves swept into neat golden piles. I hired Julian, a retired London chef, to craft a menu of tradition and defiance. Roasted pheasant, truffle mash, spiced parsnip soup, and a pumpkin tart that tasted like triumph. I wrote personal notes for every guest, sealed in envelopes at their seats. You belong here, they all read. The night before the gathering, I stood on the veranda, snow starting to fall, the kind that silences the world. My breath misted in the cold air as I whispered, They forgot me. But they won't forget this. Thanksgiving morning dawned silver and still. The first car rolled up the gravel drive just after 9. Aunt Lydia stepped out, her eyes wide. Amelia, love, this is yours? I nodded. All mine. By midday, laughter filled the halls. Kids played hide and seek in the parlor. The smell of turkey drifted from the kitchen. People hugged, cried, and told stories they hadn't shared in years. At 4 o'clock, as the sun set over the orchard, I raised my glass. To everyone who's ever been left out, I said, voice trembling slightly. May we never forget each other again. Applause erupted. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't the quiet one in the corner. I was the reason they were all here. Then, just as dessert was served, Thomas, my caretaker, appeared at the doorway. Miss Grant, your grandmother's here. What? And there she was, Grandma Edith, 87, walking slowly, arm linked with her carer. Her eyes sparkled. I told your father I was too ill to travel, she said with a grin. But I wouldn't miss this for the world. I ran to her, heart swelling. Gran. She cupped my face. You've built the kind of home this family forgot how to make. That night, as candles burned low and laughter softened to murmurs, Simon streamed a short video on social media. A pan across the table, the smiles, the toasts. He tagged it #TableForAll. By morning, the video had gone viral. Messages flooded in. Strangers sharing their own stories of being left out, finding new families, reclaiming holidays. The world saw what my parents never had, the strength in starting over. Then came the text. Clara. Nice house. Didn't know you were this successful. Mom. Why is Grandma there? Dad. We saw your post. We're proud of you. We should have said that years ago. My hands trembled slightly as I stared at the screen. Grandma, sitting by the fire, noticed. Is that them? She asked. I nodded. Put it on speaker. Her voice, calm but sharp, filled the room. You've taken Amelia for granted long enough. Always lifting Clara. Never seeing the daughter who built herself from nothing. She's done more with love than all your pride combined. Silence followed. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Real. The next day my inbox overflowed. Mom sent a long message, apologizing for years she couldn't take back. Dad admitted. I didn't know how to be proud of someone I didn't understand. And Clara. She wrote. I was jealous, Amelia. You had freedom. I only had approval. I don't know how to fix this, but I want to try. I cried, not from pain but from release. Grandma stayed the weekend, her cane tapping softly on the floors as she moved from room to room, humming. Before leaving, she touched my shoulder. Invite them for Christmas, love. Healing happens in small steps. So I did. Christmas Eve came wrapped in snow. The estate shimmered with golden lights. I waited by the door as the car approached, heart racing. Mum stepped out first, scarf wrapped tightly. Her eyes filled with tears. It's beautiful, she whispered. Dad followed, quieter than I'd ever seen him. Clara hesitated, clutching her daughter's hand. I almost didn't come, she said softly. I'm glad you did, I replied. Dinner began awkwardly, small talk, forced laughter. But slowly something thawed. Dad asked about my company. Mum complimented the food. Clara smiled, nervous but genuine. Later by the fire, Clara said, You know, I envied you. You were always brave enough to be different. I laughed gently. I thought I had to be. No one else was going to notice me otherwise. Mum wiped her eyes. We failed you both, didn't we? Clara with pressure. You with neglect. I nodded. Maybe now we can stop pretending it was perfect. The room went quiet. Not heavy this time, just healing. Christmas morning we exchanged gifts. Mum gave me an old photograph, me at 12, hunched over a circuit board. I found this in a drawer, she said, her voice breaking. I should have framed it years ago. I hugged her, sobbing softly. It's enough that you see it now. When they left, Mum turned back at the car. Thank you for letting us in, she said. I watched the snow swallow their taillights. Inside, the house was quiet again, but not lonely. Because I'd learned something. Family isn't about who forgets you. It's about who remembers you. When you start remembering yourself. Weeks later, I scrolled through the viral post again. Still spreading, still inspiring strangers. One comment stopped me cold. She didn't lose a family. She built one. And I realized, that's exactly what I'd done. I'd built a table where everyone belonged. A home born from rejection, turned into belonging. They forgot I existed once. Now, they never will again. / Thank you for listening to my story. It means the world to share it with you. If it moved you, please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. It helps me keep telling stories like this one. Stay strong and I'll see you in the next one.